Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. Well, billionaire blowhard J.B. Pritzker, the Illinois governor, has fancied himself somewhat of a Trump nemesis of late. He has been defying Trump's attempt to reduce crime in the Windy City and to generally deport illegal aliens from this country who have no right to be here. And Pritzker has been issuing threat after threat. He's jockeying for position in the 2028 presidential election race, which is no easy task for a man like him. And he obviously thinks that he can buy his way to the top of the Democratic Party ticket. But, however, he was recently on Fox News, again in a likely media whirlwind tour to try to raise his visibility, which, I mean, he's got pretty big visibility already. And Pritzker, well, he was called to task right live on air, and boy, it looked just as bad as he does. But before we get into this story, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Well, Pritzker got more than he bargained for when he decided to go on Fox News. And the problem with going to a network like Fox News is if you're a left-winger and you don't have your facts straight, there is a good chance that you're going to get called out for it. Now, you can really think that MSNBC, this is the same thing when a Republican goes on there, but that's not true. On MSNBC and CNN, Republicans and conservatives don't get called out with fact checks. They just get interrupted with emoting and insults. And you don't see that on Fox News so much. For example, when Gavin Newsom went on with Sean Hannity, it was, there were people complaining because it was too polite a conversation. And you see that time and time again on the right. They want the same thing done to the left that the left does to them. But, you don't need to stoop to their level because the facts hit harder with more people than your empty bloviating. So when Pritzker got on Fox News, well, he was thrown off his game when Bret Baier hit him back with some facts. This is really ugly. Let's check it out.
Does Chicago have the highest murder rate of all the big cities?
Well, we are not in the top 30 in terms of our murder rate. Indeed,
well,
our murder rate it has been cut in half over the last 4 years, and every year it's gone down by double digits. And if you look at all of the violent crime over the last 4 years,
here's a map.
They've all gone down.
U.S. cities, 17.47 per 100,000 population. Chicago is number one over Philadelphia, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Phoenix, Los Angeles, New York, and San Diego.
What I'm explaining to you is
you're
when
talking
you want to
about
fight
violent
crime. Look, you can pull statistics up.
No, these are murders.
I'm explaining to you that our murder rate has been cut in half. And very importantly, Brett, and you got to hear this, very importantly, we've been doing the things that are necessary to bring crime down, right? We've invested in community violence interruption. We've invested in police. I've added more state police than any governor in quite a long time. It's very important that we do both of those things and more to invest in our communities so that we bring crime down. We're doing that. You know who's doing the opposite? Donald Trump. That's not what we need.
If you hear from your constituents, your residents, and they say, ask for help. If help is being offered, ask for help.
I have. And I do. And I regularly say, you've heard me, anybody that's listened to me has heard me say, and I believe this is absolutely necessary. Bring us FBI. We want to go after the gang members. Bring us DEA. We'd like to get more drugs off the streets. Fentanyl is killing too many people in Illinois. I want to point out, by the way, in the state of Illinois, we are 19th safest. I'd like to be number one or number two safest. 19th safest, not 50th, not 40th.
Well, it's interesting that Baier put up the map and said, Chicago's number one of the big cities when it comes to murder rate. Pritzker's response that has been cut in half, well, we know that these Democrat-run cities are lying about their homicide statistics. They're not reporting them in the same way that they did to the FBI because, well, quite frankly, I know this personally, the FBI was a go-to to disprove many myths in the left-stream media about violence in this country. Homicides, gun homicides, you name it. And Pritzker trying to cover his tracks, well, it didn't fly. We know that Chicago is one of the top homicide cities, and his lying about it, well, it may play on MSNBC and CNN when the fake news reporters don't call him out for it. They know the statistics. They just will not say anything that hurts the Democratic Party or contradicts their lies to the American people. And that's why they're called the fake news media. So they act more like activists than journalists. They're not fact-checking, they're narrative-checking. But that didn't fly on Fox News, and good for Bret Baier for coming prepared for Pritzker's deceptive narrative. We need to see more of that in the media, and it's frankly one reason Democrats don't go on Fox News. It's that plain and simple. They don't want to be embarrassed by the facts. So weigh in with your own thoughts. What do you think about this story? We always appreciate hearing from you at Explain America.